I don't think anything from that really, I think that's where the damage really began. I think for her, when she left, her fight went away. And it's kind of like when you run 100 miles. When you sit down, your body can then say,
It's exactly what I was thinking.
I'm done.
It's exactly what I was thinking.
The second she left, that the mind said, oh my God, like we can be human.
It's like PTSD.
Yes, we can be human and we're not fighting anymore. And it just swarmed. The demons that all that fight and all that shit was keeping away, it just came and it swallowed her whole. And it also swallowed me whole. But once again, like we were talking about, I got a chance to watch her and she set out the ultimate blueprint on how not to be. So I had a hard time learning growing up, but I was very smart when it came to human beings. A genius, because I lived in such hell. I was always studying people. Who can I trust? Who can I not trust? Energy. I got really good with energy. Is this person's energy good? Is it bad? So I became a genius on human beings. So I studied people all the time. Studied all the time.
She also talks about considering taking her own life.
Oh yeah.
Were you aware of that before you started working toward this book?
Yeah.
Together?
So yeah, she talked about that a few times with me, behind closed doors. And I'm surprised she didn't. There's a lot of stories that are still untold that she probably will never talk about, and I'll never talk about them until she says it's fine. But yeah, it was a bad way. So I give her credit for having the strength to say, okay, I need to continue on and figure out what's next for me.
But she says the only reason that she didn't go through with it is because of you and your brother, because she knew that she would be leaving you in the hands of this tyrant that was going to mistreat you even more badly now that she wasn't around to protect you.
Yeah.
Which is it's beautiful, but it's also kind of a lot of pressure. It feels like a lot of pressure for a child to be the reason for his mother to still be there. And it's also a damning conclusion about the state of her life.
Right.
That the only thing stopping you from taking your own life is these two boys.
But it's also beautiful in a way because a lot of people only have one thing. You don't need a lot of things. Sometimes the only thing that kept me with that one step forward was one thing. And so that one thing can get you to two things, to three things, to four things. So that was the beautiful thing about that, is that now she's 75 and she's retired because of that one thing.
You're having this conversation with your mum during the production of the audiobook.
Mm-hmm.
You're having a conversation which is difficult to have in private.
Right.
With two microphones in front of you,
right.
Knowing full well that this is going out to millions of people. It's going to be scrutinized. It's going to be listened to. It's going to be reflected on.
Yep.
How difficult is it to watch your mother opening up about an experience which to you was traumatic, and then reopening those wounds in front of you and talking about that for millions of people to hear?
Oh, it's hard. It's hard, but it's necessary.
Why?
To be able to own your trauma, to be able to own everything about you and look it in the eye. Like, there's a part in 8 Mile with Eminem, at the very end, when this white boy, fucking trying to make it in the rap world and getting beat down and shit, comes from some trailer park shit. And he's like, how the fuck am I going to win this rap battle? Because my best friend got shot in the foot and this dude slept with my girl and all this shit. So what he does to take all the power from the motherfucker who's going to rap battle his ass, he's like, I'm going to tell you every motherfucking thing about me. I'm just going to fucking tell you. And that's how I feel about life. And that's how my mom now feels about life. I'm just going to fucking tell you everything fucking about me. I'm not going to hide. I'm not going to do none of this shit. And it's a refreshing feeling. When you can get in front of millions of people, get an audiobook, and you can go through your shit and lay it out, and you walk away. There's no more secrets. There's no more secrets. Like when people say, oh, hey, Lance Armstrong, did you do steroids? No. Yes. While I have nothing wrong with Lance Armstrong or anybody else. Just fucking tell them motherfuckers, man. And guess what happens to the conversation? It's over. It fucking ends.
There's a really telling moment in the book. I think it's my favorite part, and it's not even in this one. It's in the audiobook. And it's when it's getting quite difficult with your mum, and you offer her a route out. You ask if she wants to take a break.
Yep.
She says no. I'm going to keep going. So it seems like she's got a bit of that dog in her as well.
Oh yeah, she had to. Yeah, she had to. One thing that when you grow up the way we kind of grew up together, that's how I look at it. When you grow up,
was she young when she had you and
she had me
Trunis
at
Jr.?
28 and my brother at 24. So after that, we grew up together, and you got to have a dog in you. You have to have a dog in you, man. And so you have to have it, like my grandfather called it, a stiff upper lip. You better have a stiff upper lip. So, she has some dog in her. She has to. There's no other way to make it out here. I mean, you can't just always be, head down in the sand. You got to learn to pick yourself up on your own. A lot of times these fights and these battles, you got to be your own fucking coach. You got to be your own motivator. And she had to do that several times in her life.
Given all of this trauma that you go through, why would you choose to go back and see this tyrant of a father for one last time?
It was the only way for me to move forward. So, like a lot of times, if your back is hurting, it may not be your fucking back. It may be something else in your body that's making your back hurt. For me, I'm like, man, why can't I get past this fucking hurdle? So like I said, I'm always examining myself every day. What is it? Well, there's only one thing you haven't examined yet, and it's going back to the beast, going back to the demon. So when I went back to him, I realized that